Respected Sri Dr. Mittalji and my very beloved student Subrat sitting here. One thing I am going to learn from Subrat, his capability to harness the last drop. I never realized that I have to give the something, the speak in the end also. I think that with the help of Maitri, Professor Maitri, now I can say that AICT is no more only a regulatory body. It has become enabling regulatory body. And this change and transformation is very visible when you talk with the client. I would like to make 3-4 points. Number one, that business world today is no more a business world. It is the world of a war. And the implication is that if you say that you are grooming managers, you are sadly mistaken. The corporate world, while hiring, they should also think, are they hiring managers? Are they hiring warriors? There is a place for the warriors and there is no place for non-warriors. So since I said the business world is a world of war, so again I think that when I read Mahabharata and I read Gita, I get much more insight than reading any contemporary book in the field of management. I'm sorry to say that. So when the war began, Dhritarashtra asked a question to Sanjaya that now the war has started. And you can predict future, you can see future. Can you tell me who is going to win? And Sanjaya did not take even a second. He said, mighty king, Pandavas are going to win and Kauravas are going to lose. And the king was thrown out of gear totally, you know that. He lost his balance. He said, what are you talking about? Do you know who are Kauravas? Bhisma, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Swasthama, Karna, Vikarna, and such great warriors are going to be defeated by those 5 Pandavas. What are you talking about that? But if he got slightly composed, he asked a question. Sanjaya, if you have made a statement, there must be some logic. There must be some rationale, and that's why you have made that kind of a statement. And the last sloka of Gita, I would be suggesting all those persons who are from the industry as well as from the academic world, they must read. And why the last sloka of Gita is a fascinating sloka for both the world. He said, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, and Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, and Tat Sri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruva Nitirmatrimamam. If you want to conquer the world, if you are conquer the corporate world, you must have 2 kinds of people. Or, he went further, if you can combine and you can get one person having both, it's a fantastic. He said, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. What is Krishna? And you find that on 16 Kala, Krishna is one who is rated as 16 out of 16. Rama is rated only 12 out of. So if there is any perfectness, completeness, that is Krishna. And that's why I can talk about Krishna, you know that, at least for about 2-3 days, but I will talk about Krishna for about a minute or 2. Krishna symbolizes yoga karma sukausalam. Excellence in karma is the highest form of yoga. Can we inculcate excellence in our mind? Because that is the highest form of yoga. And the second thing he said something very interesting, and that's where in the corporate world and as well as in the academic world we must teach that yogasya karmani mohatyakta dhananjaya. O Dhananjaya, you work in the yogas mode. What will happen, what will not happen, that is none of your business. Your business is only karma. And one more quality of Krishna, I will talk and then stop. When Arjuna took away or went along with Subhadra, remember that? And Balram wanted to kill Arjuna because Balram said that this fellow eloped my sister. So he went and told Krishna that this rascal and this thing, blah, 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 blah. He said, Bhaiya, I want only one thing. After listening to him, he said, I want only one thing. Please describe me the scene, what happened. He said, what scene? Subhadra was driving the chariot, and this fellow was sitting in the chariot, and he was just smiling. So he said, Bhaiya, then Subhadra eloped Arjuna, or Arjuna eloped Subhadra. Can you see facts differently? And that's why when you talk about analytics, it is not only analytics, capability to see things differently. That is important point. Now keep this one to you. She said, Yatra Yogeswara. This is Krishna's mind, and it's Yatra Partho Dhanudhara. And Partha is also known as Gudakesa, the one who has conquered sleep. What is the meaning of that? Conquering sleep means what? Endlessly trying. Trying again and again. Never stopping, that. Never satisfied. Becoming the great Olympians, that. And you find that when the Olympians come from the Olympiad after getting the medal, they come with one resolution: I am going to beat my record next time. So Arjuna has been a great Olympian. That's why he is known as Gudakesa. And then teacher asked, what do you see now? I see the eye of the bird. What do you see now? Center of the eye, now suit. Are we grooming Krishna's mind and Arjuna's mind? This is the one question which I would like to ask all the management schools. I am sorry to say that. Are we grooming? Are we grooming? And business का basic fundamental model क्या है? What business are you in? So I have been asking a question to management schools, what business are you in? Are you in the business of teaching finance? Are you in the business of teaching marketing? Are you in the business of teaching operation? What business are you in? I don't get the answer. We are in the business of grooming leaders. Whether you talk of finance or you talk of marketing, everywhere we are in the business of grooming leaders. We are not in the business of teaching models. We are in the business of grooming leaders. So first of all, the business schools must define what business they are in, and requires a tremendous amount of different approach. And then the silo approach, then not aligning the wheels together, that will disappear. The moment you define what business are you in, what business are you in. So my request to all the business professors who are sitting here, you must ask a question that what business are you in? You are not in the business of finance. Though Subrat organized for the competency and a technique point of view, the finance, marketing, and I think that HR and those kind of things, but we must define what business are we in, and then we must ask those competencies, whether those competencies run or they run parallel or they help to achieve that purpose. And that's why I would like to say something very interesting. It's a Chinese story, and then I will finish. Chao dynasty, the king went to the teacher and the guru that I want my son should be groomed as the greatest king China has ever produced. So can you do it? He said, well, I have been grooming kings. I never groomed the greatest king, whatever exactly you have got in your mind. He said, whatever you develop in your mind, but my son must be, he has been crowned king now, and he is with you now. He must be developed the greatest king China has ever produced. He said, okay, leave him here. How much time? He said, well, 6 months minimum. So he said, what should I do? He said, go back and come back and come after 4 months and find out what my son has achieved. So he came back after 4 months and he asked a question, what my son has achieved. And the reply was, he is the greatest warrior China has ever produced. Please understand, to run the kingdom, to run the organization, you must be the greatest warrior. And I was talking with Vijay ji, कि भाई कहीं न कहीं we require warriors. In some context we were talking about. He is the greatest warrior. He can use all the weapons. And when Subir, you were talking about all the 7 weapons he can use concurrently. An equal command over all the 7 weapons. So he said, what else? He said, well, come after 2 months, let me try to experiment. So I think that after 2 months, he said that he called the prince and he told prince that you go to the forest and stay there for a month and come back and narrate your experience. So he went to the forest, came back after a month, and his teacher asked a question, how much time do you want? He said, I want 14 to 15 hours to make the presentation. I have done a very great preparation, and I always say that PowerPoint presentation, these days I see, I was very happy to see not a PowerPoint presentation. And so, Mittal sahab hamara hai, power corrupts and PowerPoint corrupts absolutely. How to get out from PowerPoint presentation? So he said that, and after listening to him, he said, what do you think about my presentation? He said, rubbish. And whenever you're talking about data analytics, please understand, data analytics, data must be converted into information. Information must be converted into knowledge. And knowledge must be converted into wisdom. Otherwise, I don't have any meaning about data analytics. It's not a simple interpretation of facts, not that. So he said, am I such a poor fellow? He said, I don't know, but that's what you have done. He said, what should I do it? I said, I'm going to give another test. For 15 days, you go and take the round of the kingdom and came and make the presentation. So he went. And after 15 days, how much time do you want? I want just 1 hour. And he talked about the poverty, he talked about the ignorance, and he talked about the role of the king, Kings are not in the palace. Kings are in the field. So he was very emotional. I want to join my people, something like that. And he looked to the teacher, he said, what do you ask? What do you think about my presentation? He said, good presentation, I'm very happy. But there is one more round of examination. And the last round of examination is, he said, what should I do it? I said, I don't know. I'm not going to give you any agenda. I am not going to give you any agenda. Go back and in 15 days come and make the presentation. So he went for 15 days without agenda, wandering around here and there, and came back. And the teacher asked, are you prepared to make the presentation? He said, yes. How much time do you need? 2 minutes. And that's what today I was talking to him, that precision. Precision is a sign of wisdom. Those who are very precise people, I always say that they're very wise people. So that's why you must have seen that he said, yes, say, in 2 minutes. He made 2 statements, and then think about it. Master, while I was walking around, I could hear the sound of unborn child. I could hear the sound of unborn child. And Master, I could also hear the sound of sun rays warming the petals of roses. And the Guru and the teacher, he said, Eureka! China would not be having a king like you. Of course, he ruled for about 45 years. China would not be having rule like you. Management schools must keep in mind. So he said, why you are making that statement? And that's why I am summarizing the whole proceeding. He said, well, you can look beyond means what? Unborn child means what? You can look beyond. Business lies in future. Those who think of yesterday, they spoil their today and tomorrow both. Those who think of today, they make that today but spoil tomorrow. But those who think of tomorrow, they make that today as well as tomorrow both. So that's why maybe that you can also rename grooming leaders for tomorrow, not for future. Maybe. Because tomorrow is a very, very comprehensive camp. You can see tomorrow what's going to happen. It means what? A leader is one who can see what is going to happen tomorrow. Because tomorrow provides opportunities for the business. So you have got the opportunity sensing mind. And the second point, he said, well, you can look around. You can look around. And looking around is important. What others are doing and how can you reposition your... So when I joined MDI, only 12 faculty members. There was nothing to boast about that. So I made my first speech that you guys are lucky that you are in Gurugram and MDI. This is the place where all the Pandavas were trained. And one of the faculty members asked me, sir, what about Kauravas? I said, Kauravas were trained by IIMs and Pandavas were trained by MDI. Look around what your competitors are doing. You must know what about your competitors are doing. Because if you don't know what your competitors are doing, you are going to be killed from which side you don't know really. And then he also made a statement, and my dear student, you can look beyond, you can look around, and you can look within. And that's why I said, Eureka! China would not be having a king like that. Management schools must groom the students who can look beyond, who can look around, and who can look within. They may be into any function. Because you find this leadership is across the function. So that's why in all the functions we need such kind of fellows, people. And the last point which I would like to say, for the people from the industry, I don't see many people here. I think that if you see the global world, many great books in the area of finance, in the area of marketing, in the area of leadership, you name any area, they are done by the practicing managers. Only Paranadkar survived by Andy Grove. Whole G experience by... So they have done it. I am sorry to say, and only Dr. Bhandarkar knows about that, I think that we were doing the top management workshop where the board members of Dalmia were there. I said, unfortunately, corporate members are the most ignorant fellows. So the ignorant fellows, what they do? If some knowledgeable people join the company, they feel very threatened. नॉर्मल जवाब क्या होता है? ये मत सोचना कि इस बाल जो सफ़ेद हुए हैं वो कमरे में बैठ कर हुए हैं, धूप में हुए हैं सफ़ेद, और तुम हमको बता रहे हो कैसे बिजनेस किया जाए. इट्स अ रियलिटी. I find what kind of mentoring they will do. You have got your bank balance, you can give only something which you have got in the bank. If you don't have anything in the bank, you can't give anything. Anand, you know that I am a very frank person. I hope that you will not mind. Mentoring is a real issue in the corporate world. I know that our students may not be really good. But when they join, are we in the business of target achievement, or are we in the business of building leaders? Jesus could build 12 leaders and conquer the whole world. Buddha could build 5 leaders, conquer the whole world. Guru Gobind Singh could do with 5. At least you know that. So those who are the leaders, they build disciples. In the corporate world, I don't see the concept of building disciples. You know that. In the academic world also I see we don't build disciples. Someone made the statement that MDI has given the highest number of directors. Yes. So MDI and Lucknow, if you put together, we have given the highest number of directors because everyone was a director material. Everyone was a director material. So I would like to say that this is one thing. So management schools must ask a question that what business they are in. That's number one. Number two, they must be very clear what kind of warriors or what kind of leaders they are going to grow. And similarly, I would also like to say that corporate sector people, they must also know continuously to be groomed. Otherwise, in the corporate world, you find that I see much more monkey snatching. So when you work in the public sector and the private sector, the file would be going to about 13 levels, 14 levels and 15 levels. And file में noting क्या होता है? Please advise and push forward. So I have been asking a question, why? So Dr. Bhandakar and doing myself and my way doing some kind of MMTC, some kind of work. So Dr. Bhandakar said that no noting would be acceptable unless they write their own opinion. Doesn't have any meaning. So that's why I find that corporate world also, and find that Tatas are great because of TMTCs. Because they also say that we are grooming leaders. We are the universities of grooming leaders. I think that's extremely important, you know. So these are some of the, I know, thought-provoking, and that needs a lot of work to be done, I think that. But I think that well begin and half done, I always believe. So I never get disappointed. I think that journey which you have started that journey. And that journey will go and to some very, very respectable place. Kalidasa wrote something very... Kalidasa, I am a great champion and great admirer of Kalidasa. So he wrote one poem which I like the most. And he said, God, you can give me any amount of miseries, any amount of trouble. I will accept and consider that one as a blessing. But don't give me the miseries, of reciting my poem in front of those fellows who are non-appreciative. Thank you very much for having very appreciative audience.